only all things daily fantasy, but we talk all sports, man. This is what we talk about. And today, man, a really interesting topic comes up. I'm a barber. I work in the barber shop. A lot of conversation goes on there, especially sports conversation. Now, first things first, if you wanted to be a part of today's show, it is as simple as hitting me up on Google Hangouts. I can take your call there. We can go at it, go back and forth, whatever you want to do. And that is going to be at DFS Sweatshop at Gmail. If you have a Gmail, jump in, get in, hit me up. We could talk it over, get to it. You know what? You can tell by the graphic that we have pulled up what we're going to be talking about today. You can tell by the graphic that we have pulled up what we're going to be talking about today. Because I'm more or less sick and tired of the comparisons. I'm so sick and tired of the comparisons. To me, in my estimation, there is no comparison at all. There's absolutely no comparison. None at all. There's no comparison in this spot. There really isn't. And if you think you are, you're crazy. If you think there is, you're crazy. And I'm willing to call you out on it, and we can chop it up. Most certainly. There's no comparison here. All right. So we've got. You can take a look at this graphic, and you're gonna be able to see it. You're gonna be able to see what I have pulled up, right? And if you wanted to call into the show, definitely. So I've got no issue there with you calling into the show, and that is DFS Sweatshop at Gmail. And we're gonna talk about this, really break this down, right? And I'm gonna preface this with a little story, because you know me, you know I like little stories, right? All right, the year, I believe, is 1992, right? Chicago Bulls just coming off of a finals win. My dad at the time was not a guy that was in my life a lot. And just so happened, this one summer, I stayed with him in D.C., we got to chop it up, had a good time. He would always like to take me out to play basketball. It hadn't been in my life since I was a kid, and I was 13. Well, I was smaller. So I said, you know what? Every time we go to the basketball court, I'm going to destroy my dad. And I did. I'm talking about I dusted him. I would play dirty. I would elbow him, bounce the ball off his head, between his legs, all kind of shit. I'm talking about I would disrespect that man. And there's nothing you could do with me, because I was a very good basketball player, still am to this very day. If you want to try me, it's all good. All right? So, we've got the live chat open right now. And this is what we're doing, man. The DFS Sweatshop has grown. It is growing as a brand. What better way to get out the messages and the situations that hey, yo, Leroy, I posted them up. I'm talking about put D-Roll Dad on the hip. Brought it up high, hit him with the elbow for every child support check I never received, laid it on him between the leg. I'm talking about destroy him. I had him so mad he threw the ball. Let's go, son. I was like, what? That's for leaving us, Nick. You know what I'm saying? So, and we talked a lot of sports. We did. Father and son, that summer we talked a lot of sports. And I can remember some of the conversations that we had, right? Some of the conversations that we had were to the effect of, hey, Dr. J was the greatest basketball player to ever live. That was my dad's opinion. My dad's opinion was that Dr. J was the greatest basketball player to ever live. At that point, that's what he felt, right? And still to this day, will tell you that, argue up and down, that Dr. J is the greatest. And I get why he would say that. I understand why he says that. So as we go throughout the generations, I'm sure, the generations before or my son is going to understand why I feel, right? But for the life of me, I do not understand why people feel that you can mention a player like LeBron James with the overall greatness of Michael Jordan. I don't understand it. It's just something that I just cannot understand. It doesn't make sense to me. It is ridiculous. It is ludicrous. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, if we look at some of the statistics, because we know that's a very large part of people's overall view of a player, of a career, of a legacy. If we look at that, yeah, sure, sure. I just got a tweet from Denver, the big homie. Where can I hit you up about no comparison? Yo, hit me up Google Hangouts, man. Google Hangouts, and I'll let you know when I open it up. Matter of fact, hit me now. Fuck it, hit me now. Google Hangouts, DFS Sweatshop at Gmail. Hit me up. I'm gonna have you. I've got you here on my trusty iPad. The Hangouts is open, waiting, ready for some calls. But let me finish my rant, okay? Now let's take a look. Let's a quick tail of the tape. All right, NBA championships. First and foremost, we can look at that. All right, we've got LeBron, 3. Mike, 6. First and foremost. NBA seasons. LeBron has played 14. Mike played 15. Mike also went to college, which is the reason why he was so coachable. Playoffs played. 12 playoff performances we saw for LeBron. We see from LeBron. 13 from Mike. All-Star games. 13 for LeBron. 14 for Mike. Season MVPs. 4 for LeBron, 5 for Mike. And in those MVP seasons, it was unquestionable, it was unarguable that without a shadow of a doubt, beyond any reasonable doubt, Michael Jordan was the best player on the floor. Right? LeBron, 4. Finals MVP, being the best player in a finals series. LeBron, 3, Mike, 6. So every time Mike was in the finals, he was the best player on the floor. All NBA first teams, 10 and 10. All NBA teams, 12 for LeBron, 11 for Mike. All defensive team, first team, 5 for LeBron, 9 for Michael Jordan. All defensive teams, period. 6 for LeBron, 9 for Mike. Defensive player of the year, 0 for LeBron, 1 for Mike. Scoring leader. This is where the rubber meets the road. Scoring leaders. Being the most prolific scorer. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. There's 2 objects in basketball. There's 2 objects. Number 1 is to put the ball in the basket. Number 2 is to stop the other team from putting the ball in the basket. Okay? So scoring and defense is what encapsulates the NBA life. What it means to be an NBA player, a great NBA player. You score the ball and you stop others from scoring the ball. So, in this comparison, what we have here is Michael Jordan scoring the ball. 10 consecutive scores. This is not where, in a 15-year career, he, may have led the league in scoring this year, may not have led it this year, may have done it this year. No. For 10 consecutive seasons, this dude went out and led the league in scoring. That speaks to the dominance that we saw from Michael Jordan. The scoring leader for LeBron, 1. Once. Steals leaders. The leader of the league in steals, okay? Which is if you can stealing defense, keeping the other team from putting the ball in the basket, 0 for LeBron. 3 for Michael Jordan. So what you're telling me is at certain points in his career, Michael Jordan was not only the most prolific scorer on the court, but he was also one of the league's best defenders. What does that tell you? They both won Rookie of the Year. Now this is not even having to get into some of these points per game. We look at Michael Jordan career scoring average of 30.1. You look at LeBron 27. You look at rebounds per game where LeBron does average 0.9 more rebounds, average 1.7 more assists. They both same amount of blocks. Total points, Mike is up on him by about 5,000. Rebounds, he's up. Assists, LeBron is up. Total steals, LeBron is way down under Mike in that spot. Blocks, Mike has more blocks than LeBron. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And hasn't played a lot more games. Hasn't played a lot more games. Hasn't played a lot more games. Career field goal percentage. LeBron 50. Michael Jordan 0.49. A lot of that was due to those last years in Washington. 3-point percentage, LeBron leads him there. Free throw percentage, Mike leads him there. Points per game, when you look at the best seasons with no game minimum, this dude averaged 37 a game, bro. I'd never forget 1987. The man averaged 37 points a game. And great shout out from Prospect Boy, man. LeBron titles in Miami will always be questioned in my eyes. Don't like how he teamed up, and see that's another animal. I'm kind of glad that you opened up that can of worms and I didn't have to. I'm glad that you opened it up and I didn't have to. Okay. Do you think? Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this. So you've got the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys, go out and they develop the Jordan rules, ways to stop this guy and shut this guy down. If you look at it, the most dominant players in NBA history have had rules changed, to stop them from just totally running away with the game. We look at the invention of the three-point line, which was definitely in place to stop those bigger athletes, to slow those guys down scoring, increase ball movement along the top of the key, make it a plus if the ball is 22 feet away from the basket. That's a plus in some spots, right? It gave some other cats a chance to score some more points, right? So you got that. You've got all of the Shaq rules that came up when Shaq was completely dominating, who in my opinion, Shaquille O'Neal is the most dominating force I've ever seen on the basketball court. They changed the game. They changed the rules of the actual game. I mean, we talk about dating back from Dr. James Naismith and the Peach Basket to the rules not changing until some of these guys came along. You're looking at Wilt Chamberlain. You're looking at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the invention of the three-point line, Bill Russell, these guys. Then you're looking at what they had to do to stop Michael Jordan. The hand check rule was taken out. There's no more hand check. You could not lead a player because that's what Detroit did. That was their main thing. They hand checked Mike, didn't let him get to certain spots. You couldn't, you know what I mean? So you're looking at this, man. The game has changed. How many Michael Jordans have we looked for? Let's make a list. Harold Miner. How many? And then you look at what Mike brought to the game as far as making it. The NBA was not such a big deal, man. We had the ABA, we had the NBA on the other side, where the better teams were in the ABA. That's why a guy like my dad can say, yo, Dr. J was the very best player to ever do it because the ABA was destroying the NBA. The ABA was so much better than the NBA. That New Jersey Nets team that they had over there before the merger took place was an unstoppable force. Darryl Dawkins, Dr. J, a host of other guys. And when they merged, they knew they had to break that team up. They had to break that team up because it was just too good. So I get why my dad says, yo, they changed the game. They had to change the game to stop Dr. J. He was the best player. If I get that. Well, what's happened? If anything, the game has changed in favor of LeBron James. Because now you don't have to have, ball skills. All you got to do is be big and strong, run people over, get calls, and dunk. You don't have to be able to shoot the ball well. You don't have to be able to actually think the game. You don't have to be coachable. You don't have to really involve your other teammates. I'm telling you, man, the way Michael Jordan was able to elevate the play of his teammates is just one small facet of how great this dude was as a basketball player. And Leroy McConnell says the only problem is when LeBron's career is done, his numbers will dwarf Jordan's. But we know though, we know better. We know better. We know that without LeBron going to Miami, this is not an issue. We know this. We know this. Prospect Boy is correct. Jordan could not win until Magic, Bird, Thomas was old. That's not true. That's ridiculous. How could you say that when? So how much? So after the Bad Boys won those two championships, 89-90, they won two championships, and then Michael Jordan came back and beat the Lakers and won the championship the next year. He had to beat Detroit to get there. So how much did the Bad Boys age in that summer between winning a championship and then getting the ass whipped by the Bulls? Like how much did that team change? It didn't change at all. Mike just beat him. And it is asinine, in my opinion, to even compare these cats or even compare anyone to Michael Jordan. Dude is hands down the best basketball player to ever do it on an NBA stage, period. Hands down. There's no debate. There's no comparison. It's Michael Jordan, and then it's everybody else. It's Michael Jordan, and then it's everybody else. Now, I'm saying this as a Knicks fan. I'm saying this as a guy who I feel has some of the very best chances to stop Michael Jordan. The only thing that really stopped them from winning 8 championships in a row, because we know the Houston Rockets won those championships because Michael Jordan, more than the death of the father, didn't want to play, wouldn't play baseball. We know that. So okay, Leroy McConnell says Bird was old and hurt, and the Bad Boys was shit after 91. They just won in 90. They won in 90. How can you win a championship in 89 and 90, and then automatically you fall off to the point to where now Michael Jordan isn't playing anybody in the Eastern Conference Finals? That's foolish. That's foolish. Jordan's at the right place at the right time. Are you kidding me, bro? This is like the most egregious argument. This makes no sense to me. No sense to me. I mean, the numbers are in front of you, bro. What this guy does. The numbers are in front of you. And then there's the argument, well, he couldn't do without Pippen. Well, let me ask you this. If you are practicing in the triangle against Michael Jordan, you are a late first-round pick from Central Arkansas State University. You team up, you get on Michael Jordan's team, and you practice against this guy day in and day out. You're going to beat Scottie Pippen, too. You're going to play better, too. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, name the best player Jordan played against. It doesn't matter. You don't play against players. You play against teams. It doesn't matter. That Portland Trailblazers team that Mike beat in the finals, that Utah team, that Karl Malone team that Mike beat in the finals, all of those teams are better than the Cleveland Cavalier team. They're better. They're better. All of those teams are better. Basketball is what I'm telling you what this is what ruined the perception, the conception of NBA. This is what ruined it. It's ESPN. And Nike and all these people that are telling you, they're trying to follow the Jordan blueprint. But they never see the reason why they never saw Jordan coming. That's why he was able to be what he was. Because this was a guy, a scrawny guy, born in Brooklyn, raised in North Carolina, went to UNC, very decent college player, very decent college career, goes to the NBA and becomes the most prolific, spectacular basketball talent that we've ever seen. That he's ever seen. So now you're saying Jordan didn't win by himself. When you look at the collection of players that Jordan played with, and I guarantee you, it's a lot of three-headed monsters. It's never the same cast of characters. It's always different guys. It's B.J. Armstrong. It's Craig Hodges. It's Bill Winnington. It's Bill Cartwright. It's a bunch of other people. And Phil Jackson. Okay. Oh, great, Phil Jackson. Because no matter where Phil Jackson goes, he wins a ton of championships. That's why my Knicks are shit. The Seattle teams were good. Clyde Drexler. I mean, if you want to tell the truth about it, I mean, you can't name but so many, great elite level shooting guards in history. It's a position that kind of lacks overall, historically, shooting guard specifically. So we're not going to be focused on specific positioning. But what we can talk about is the teams that played, the teams that he beat. And it's not his fault. He was so good. He swept a lot of those teams. The top 50, exactly. Brandon Flood, automatically correct, bro. A lot of these guys were top 50 guys that Mike was going against. And he beat them. He beat them. The dude came back off of not playing for 2 years almost, dropped 55 on my Knicks in the Garden, went and lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Orlando Magic, who eventually went on to get beat by the Houston Rockets. Like, come on, man. This is crazy. I can't believe and so many people are prisoner to the moment because I know what it is. You want to feel like you lived in a time where you got a chance to see the best talent. That's what you want. And I dig that. I get it. But you can't be you can't be crazy. You can't be foolish. You can't be foolish and disregard what you've seen so far. And what you've seen is Michael Jordan just destroy and dominate the NBA on so many different levels. And I can't believe that I have to have this conversation. Seattle and Portland were garbage. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Even some of those Knicks teams, some of those Knicks teams that kept running into the Bulls, or some of those Pacer teams, were better than a lot of the teams that we're seeing now. The Eastern Conference is a proverbial cakewalk most years. Most years. LeBron beat the 73-9 dub. To me, they ain't all that great to me. But guess what happened though? 72-10, brother. You forget that? The running of the Bulls? Did you forget that? 72-10. Bro, I remember, I would never forget, man. I was in 10th grade, man. And the homie, shout out to the homie, Joe Parker, man. One of the only true Bulls fan that I know. Dude's from Chicago, grew up in Charleston with me. Yo, this dude, we would go to school, and every day I would have to listen to this man talk about how the Bulls were not going to lose more than 10 games. And it was the most excruciating thing ever. The most excruciating thing ever. 72-10 with more competition. There's no comparison. There's no reason to even debate it. But for the sake of respect to you and respect to your opinion, for 7 years, LeBron running mate was his center. Bro, the dude is overrated and overhyped, and I saw that from day one. Did y'all not forget everybody that the NBA and ESPN and Nike tried to push down our throat after Mike left? Do you remember some of these cats? The Anthony Hardaways, the Grant Hills, the Harold Miners, all of these, Baby Jordan, all of these guys, and none of them could live up to the billing. And the one thing I can give LeBron is he's the first one to live up to that specific hype. To that specific hype. LeBron has lived up to that specific hype. His career, in my opinion, is a great one of the all-time greats. But it pales in comparison to what we've seen from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the best to ever do it. Not a doubt. Yo, those Bulls teams were fantastic, and I dare you to name a Bulls starting five completely. It's so hard for you. It's so hard for you. But you know all of the teams that LeBron won championships with, they were star-studded. How would Mike have looked like? Damn, man, I know y'all just beat me, Detroit Pistons, Zeke, and all of y'all over there. I know y'all just beat up on me, right? But what I want to do is I want to get out of my Bulls contract and come over there and play for the Pistons. Would that be cool with y'all? That's some whole shit, man. Real talk. Okay, tell you what makes MJ so good that you can call him again. Okay, I'm gonna break it down again for you. If I'm breaking it down one more time. I'm gonna break it one more time. Okay. Check this out. Basketball has two goals, two specific goals. Yeah, to play winning basketball, you gotta do two things. Okay, you have to put the ball in the basket. One, do you agree? Because if nobody scores, we play 4 quarters, nobody scores, it's a tie. So the most important thing with basketball is to put the ball in the basket, right? Quick question: if LeBron wins this year, does it change my opinion? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. So you have to put the ball in the basket. Who has put the ball in the basket better, more beautifully, at a more consistent clip? Who has put the ball in the basket better in NBA history than Michael Jordan? Who's done that? Who has scored the ball with the fluidity, the consistency, the flair, the passion, the clutch, right? Who's done that better than Michael Jordan? That's number one. Because we already outlined that putting the ball in the basket is important. Kobe, that's crazy. That's crazy. Kobe, that's crazy. Kobe does not lead, he doesn't lead the league in scoring most often. He does not. He doesn't have as many scoring titles as Mike does. Mike has the most consecutive scoring titles in NBA history. The most in NBA history. And clutch. Some of the greatest NBA. You remember against Cleveland? The knockdown with that? Remember that? Come on, baby. Get with me. Nobody's done that. 10 consecutive. Wrap your head around that. 10 consecutive scoring titles. This means that for 10 straight years, nobody scored more points than Michael Jordan. Nobody. Nobody. So we've already hammered that down. That is the most important aspect to winning basketball. You got to score more points than the other team. And if you have Michael Jordan on your team, there's a very good chance that you're going to score more points than the other team. Right? The next aspect to winning basketball is stopping the other team from scoring. It is defense. The game is not just played on one side of the court. You got to play defense. You got to play offense. We have already, but and you say because he's a ball hog, but yo, the percentages say what? LeBron doesn't shoot, Mike doesn't shoot the ball any more than anybody else. He doesn't. Actually, Mike shot the ball a lot less than a lot of people. He really did. Because if he had shot the ball as much as other people shot the ball, the scoring average would have been way higher. The scoring average would have been way higher. The man shoots a career average 50% every other time the ball goes in. That is exceptional. That is exceptional. That is exceptional. Okay, that is exceptional. The percentage, it's right here. The percentage is right here. You said show you. I'm coming with the statistics. There's no other way around it. The percentage is right here. His career scoring, career percentage is 50%. Field goal percentage, excuse me, 0.487% field goal percentages. LeBron is at 0.48. They both have 4.8. Mike's a little bit higher, right? At one point, it was 51% until those last years in Washington. That brought the scoring average down some. Jordan would have 8 straight titles. That's right. That's right. They had 7 expansion teams introduced that made the NBA weak in the 90s. So he ran the decade just like Magic 9 finals in 13 years when the NBA had stars. That's ridiculous. Dennis Wood, that's just ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement. I'm not even going to dignify that, but that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The East was fucking packed. The East was packed. It was. At this point, there's no debate. Numbers, who they beat are both legendary. At this point, it's all about rings. Coming from Charles Locke, I can dig that. So, okay. So, all right. So, it just got brought up by Leroy McConnell that you can't say that Michael Jordan would have had 8 titles. Okay. So, it's not like we're saying, oh, yeah, Mike would have won 8 titles. Spot ones here, there. No. Because you know why you can say that? Because there's a bookend. There's a running of the Bulls bookend where 3 years, 3 straight championships. He left the game. They didn't win for 2 years. He came back. They won for 3 more years. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the argument here. Okay? Without a doubt, without question, LeBron James is a great player. One of the best. I would say he is top 25 in NBA history. I would call him top 25 toward the lower end. I would say that. But Mike is number 1 by far. Number 1. The only good team in the 90s was that expansion team was the Magic with Penny and Shaq. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So, we already talked about... So, Leroy McConnell, if you have... Okay, say something about what I'm saying when I'm talking about those 10 scoring titles. Talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about being the best scoring player in the league for 10 years straight. Talk about averaging 37.1 points a game in 1987. Talk about that. Talk about that. Because you know what makes the comparisons, what makes the comparison for you is they want you to believe that you're watching the best you've ever seen. ESPN wants you to believe that you're watching the best you've ever seen. Nike wants you to believe that when you purchase these shoes, you're purchasing shoes from this cat that is the best you've ever seen. That's what they want you to believe, and that's why they tweak stats and they say, well, they put disclaimers on statistics. Oh, well, LeBron James is averaging the highest scoring average per game on a Tuesday after his 3rd cup of coffee the week before Mother's Day. Yes, top 25. He's toward the lower end of the top 25 players, in my opinion, in NBA history. He is. Kareem has more points. We're talking about scoring average. That's the difference. Scoring average and points are different. I mean, you can play 100 fucking years and average 10 points a game and have 100,000 points. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not sure the math is wrong. 10,000 points. We're not talking about just the points. We're talking about the way in which he dominated the league at that time. There's been times when some of LeBron James MVPs were questionable, in my opinion. Well, wait a minute now. There's another guy I could have thought about when it comes to... Never have I ever questioned any MVP award that was given to Michael Jordan. Ever. Ever. Every time we knew what it was. We already knew what it was. And that's what it was. LeBron could win scoring titles every year. So you mean to tell me that LeBron doesn't know that he has one scoring title and Mike has 10? You think LeBron doesn't know that? You're talking about one season, bro. He averaged 50 in one season, but his career scoring average is lower than Mike's. We're talking about Wilt Chamberlain. It's lower. Bill, okay. See, that's when we can. And you see how what you're doing? How you can name a different person for every argument against Michael Jordan. When you want to talk about rings, you talk about Bill Russell. When you want to talk about the leader for a season in scoring, you want to talk about Wilt Chamberlain. When you talk about who scored the most points in the game, you go to Wilt Chamberlain. When you talk about we talk about the most triple doubles, you go to LeBron. You go all over. You go to all these different players to try to combat the one thing that's sitting in your face. Is when you put it all together, brother. When you put it all together, Mike is the greatest to ever play the game. And LeBron doesn't care. Yo, LeBron cares. LeBron cares. If LeBron didn't care, he wouldn't have went to Miami chasing a championship if he didn't care. Of course he cares. Legacy is a big thing. It's a word that's being pushed out a lot. Your legacy, your brand, all that stuff is being pushed out. And nobody remembers a guy that wasn't a champion. And that's why he did that. That's why he went over there. That's why first thing he did, we got to Cleveland was like, yo, there's a young guy that's really good. Get rid of him. Wiggins, get rid of him. Get me Kevin Love. A dude that doesn't mind playing second fiddle to me. And they won. No doubt. They won. They won. No doubt. Draymond Green got kicked out of the finals, but they won. Speak to those 10 scoring titles. Because we haven't really jumped to the second part where we talk about defense. Mike is the greatest. You can't tell me that Mike is not the greatest scorer of all time. But we know the NBA has two different facets of scoring and defense. Let's look at defensively. Who's the better defender? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Easy. Easy. The statistics in the awards tell you. They tell you right here. The dude led the league. The dude led the league in scoring and steals in the same season. That's right. Allen Iverson is the next. That's right. And you know what else Allen Iverson did? He is one of the only ones. There was only two guys ever in history that did it. Him and Mike that led the league in scoring and steals. Although, Mike was more of an on-ball defender while Allen Iverson played the passing lanes a lot. So, there's no way. Do you blame LeBron for leaving? Blame. There's no blame for anything. It's just I understand that if you can't, a lot of people think if you can't beat him, join him. Well, that was not a part of Michael Jordan's DNA. It's not. It's not. LeBron is not a good defensive. No, he's not. LeBron does not play defense. No, he doesn't. He's a guy that runs harder on the offensive end than the defensive end. Where are the awards at? LeBron can guard 1 through 5. He can. Does he? No. He doesn't. Mike doesn't have to guard 1 through 5. Mike can jump on whoever's the best player on your team. How many times have you seen Mike pat Pippen on the chest? I got it, Pip. Let me go ahead and lock this down real quick. I'm going to go ahead and drop 37, but I'm going to also get about 4 steals right now. Come on, man. Nobody ever did it better than Michael Jordan. We look at the offensive end. We already established that. Michael Jordan is the most prolific scorer we've ever seen. On the defensive end, who has scored that much and played that much defense in a career? Nobody. LeBron James is the most overrated, overhyped athlete in the history of American professional sports. I saw it from day one. I called it when we were looking at him in high school. I knew what time it was, and I could see the league salivating like, yes, we finally got a guy that we think can come close to living up to the hype. And he did that. He definitely did that. For that, hats off to him. Hats off to him. And then when you say he's better than Magic, he's not even better than Magic. He's not even better than Magic. He's not even better than Magic, bro. He's not. Assists do not win basketball games. Assists do not win basketball games. LBJ is top 12 in assists and scoring. Where's Mike in assists? Assists do not win basketball games. We've already figured out that the two ways to win, the two base ways to win, is to score the most points and to stop the other team from scoring. Assists don't win basketball games. Mark Jackson led the league in assists. Mark Jackson led the league in assists. The all-time career assist leader, John Stockton. I think John Stockton and just got passed by somebody else. Like, you talk about Jason Kidd, you talk about John Stockton, you talk about Steve Nash, those guys. None of those guys even in this conversation. I don't care about assists. I don't care about assists. And everybody talks about, well, yeah, Magic Johnson, he played all 5 positions. That was one game in a final series. One game. That's one game. One game. It's not a big deal. I don't care about that. That's not a big deal. What do you want to? Okay, what do you want to lead the league in? Assists or points? I want to lead the league in points. I'm a scorer, baby, and I'm a point guard too. I want to lead the league in points. If I could choose where I could lead the league in, it'll be points. Who you want next to you? The guy's gonna lead the league in points, or the guy's gonna lead the league in assists? The guy's gonna lead the league in points. Points win games. There's a score. They don't count assists. And all that is fine and good. Magic won a high school championship, NCAA championship, and all of that's great. All of that's great. All of that's great. All of that's great. Larry Bird is ranked the #1 complete player in NBA history. Jordan is ranked #5. LeBron and Magic 7 and 4. No, there's no way. There's no other decision. And you said, and people always say Mike shot a lot. No, he didn't. He really didn't. He didn't shoot any more than any other these other guys did. He just made more shots at a more consistent clip, and he had a lot more memorable shots. Some of the most memorable shots in NBA history were knocked down by Michael Jordan. That's just the truth. That's the truth. Dude is the greatest to ever do it, man. The absolute greatest to ever do it, and there's no doubt about it. There's no other opinion that there's no doubt about it. It's ridiculous. Mike was the most clutch player in NBA history, bro. I want you to just watch some stuff, man. You go back and you watch Come Fly With Me. Go watch Flight School, right? Look at some of the things this dude did on the court, man. It's magnificent. And above that, the dude cared. He cared. You look at how he's willing to showcase and display his talent on any stage. Mike was in dunk contests. He didn't mind going to dunk contests. The competitive nature in him wanted to win no matter what he was involved in. Almost got him into trouble. The dude just has a competitive motor that would not quit, would not stop. And it pushed him to greatness, man. It really did. It really did. No. Listen, there's nothing that LeBron James can do at this point. There's nothing that LeBron James can do at this point to be a better player than Michael Jordan. There's nothing to do. No accumulation of statistics, no accumulation of championships, because he's just not better. He's just not better than Michael Jordan. He's not as good. Talent is talent. That's right. Coming from Charles Jarvis, man. That's what it is, man. It's the marketing, and people don't understand when they've been hoodwinked and bamboozled when it comes to savvy marketing ploys. People don't understand that because nobody made the Jordan blueprint for marketing. It just happened. It just happened. You know, him and the Spike Lee commercials, and the Nike deal, the Jordan brand that later developed. All of that stuff just happened. There was no blueprint already written out, and Jordan is that blueprint. And that's why every guy that's up and coming, every guy that's up and coming, they try to tailor them to go in the Jordan direction, where they can make one guy the face of the league, and that's just not possible. And that's why the NFL has such more way more staying power than NBA, because the NFL does not just market players; they market teams, they market fans, they market they market the fan base, the city. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who plays for what teams. You root for the team. You root for the city, and that's what the NFL has done so much better than the NBA, because great players come and go. Teams are forever. Teams are forever. Teams are forever. And that's why we might look at a guy like LeBron James. Like when Mike quit, it was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Who is gonna carry the league now? You. What's your name? Harold Miner. Come here. You can dunk. Come here. You got a ball head. You're the next Michael Jordan. Baby Jordan. Then it was, oh my God. Baby Jordan is not anything like Michael Jordan. Who are we gonna find? You. Come here. You. Come here. What's your name? Penny. Anthony Hardaway. Broke down under the pressure. Oh, we got Grant. Come here. Grant Hill. You're a North Carolina guy with the Duke. Okay, cool. ACC. Come on. You're gonna be the next Michael Jordan. You can do it. No, couldn't do it. Then it was Kobe. Come here, Kobe. You're gonna be Michael Jordan. But Kobe said, you know what? No, I'm not gonna be Michael Jordan. I'm Kobe Bryant. I'm not gonna conform and shape myself to this mold you're trying to put me in. And that's when he went off and did his own thing. Had a great career.